I'm that dude. I'm doing everything. I'm working hard. He said, you're spread out. What are you getting? Nothing. What are you elite at? Nothing. Your words, not mine. Ouch. If somebody's wealthy and happy, you gotta listen. He's happy and he's wealthy, so I'm listening. So I made a decision. I'm gonna devote everything to one entity, insurance. That's the shift. That's the moment a hustler became a builder. A hustler is always chasing the next dollar. A builder is constructing something the next dollar comes to. Hustlers wake up tired because they're running. Builders wake up clear because they have a plan. Hustlers have a million ideas. Builders have one mission.
I'm a wanted man. I got blood on my hands. Do you understand? I'm a wanted man.
I sold cookies. I built computers. I made CDs. I had a print shop. I designed clothes. I sold phones. I got paid to play sports. And I had a fitness company. By the time I was 40 years old, I've been hustling my entire life and was still living paycheck to paycheck. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what I had to do, what I had to give up to stop being broke. And the part that nobody talks about, the part that almost cost me everything. Practically my entire life, I've been a serial entrepreneur running around doing multiple things. Cookies, computers, CDs, a print shop, fitness company, clothes, phones. I even got paid to play sports. I feel like I've been hustling my entire life. And then reality hits. You look up one day, and there's two things that drove me crazy. All the hustling and bustling I've been doing, and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. And there's a tougher reality nobody says out loud. And I'm speaking to myself. You're good at everything and elite at nothing. A mentor one time, who's also my brother, told me something that I'll never forget. He said, it's a gift to be good at everything and elite at nothing. Huh? Because the minute you devote all your time, energy, and effort, or your creativity into one entity, success is inevitable. I had to swallow that pill, and it was bitter. But here we are. If you're sitting where I was sitting, listen carefully. Being able to do multiple things is not the same thing as winning at one thing. The world doesn't reward range when you're trying to build wealth. The world rewards depth. The world rewards mastery. The world rewards the person who said, this is my lane, I'm not getting out, and I'm going to be the best at it. This is the lesson that took me almost 40 years to learn. I've made so many mistakes in life, in business, in insurance. And one of the reasons I started this podcast is because I want to make sure you don't make the same ones. Whatever field you're in, pick up a book of somebody who's already done it. Follow them. Watch their podcasts. They're going to save you so much time, so much energy, and so much effort. Don't be like me. Stop trying to figure out everything by yourself. It is the most expensive lesson a hustler can learn. And most of us don't learn it until it's already cost us years. I wish I would have known this sooner. But it's my ethical responsibility to give it to whoever is willing to listen. I want to be the link. I want to be the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And when it comes to business, when it comes to success, there's a foundation that has to be built first. That's what this whole show is going to be about. Not the highlight reel, not the flex, the foundation, the real work, the mistakes, the corrections, the mentors, the directions, the discipline. Everything I had to learn the hard way. I'm going to give it to you on this show every Tuesday for as long as it takes. Let me take you back to 2022. I wasn't supposed to go to the gym that day. I want you to hear me clearly. Probably if I didn't go, I'm not sure I would have ever gone. And I'm almost certain I wouldn't have had the conversation that I had that changed my entire life. I ended up meeting probably one of the most kindest men I've ever met in my life. He worked in an insurance company. We sat in a group, we started speaking, and then we just started sharing. I told him a little bit about everything that I do, cookies, computers, print shops, the whole thing. I told him I've been hustling my entire life. And then he said the word insurance. And that moment, I remembered I used to send people to other insurance companies for free just because I wanted to help my friends and family. I told him, and he looked at me and said, "You could get paid for that." I had no idea. That wasn't why I was sending them. And honestly, in that moment, I didn't even care about the money. My goal has always been to create something better for the next generation. I would look at my friends, I would look at their family, people with kids. Nothing is set up. Tomorrow isn't promised. And they had no plan for tomorrow. No plans at all. I grew up in a neighborhood where preparation isn't at the forefront of what we're taught. Part of the mission, my mission, is to change that. That's what hooked me. Not the commission, the mission. At the end of the conversation, he told me, "Let's have a meeting next week. We'll get you in the back office, get you in the system. Take it slow." Take it slow. He don't know me very well. By next week, I've already studied, I've already passed the test, and I was a licensed agent. I remember him being baffled. He couldn't understand how somebody could move so fast. In that moment, I realized something about myself. Before I had any money, before I had any success, there was a trait I always had. It's my sense of urgency. There's a difference between people who have it and people who want it. People who only want it always have to think about it. They need to sleep on it. They need to speak to 7 people before they move forward. They need to make sure the timing is perfect. People who want it just move. If something makes sense, something is lined up for you, what you've been praying for, what you've been working towards, what you've been dreaming about, don't overthink it. If something doesn't make sense, then you run as if you're trying to get out of a burning building. But you have to move with a sense of urgency regardless what your decision is. That's the trait that got me in the business in under a week. And this is the trait every single person on my team has to develop if they want to make it. I'm telling you, I've had to be in a privileged position to be around people who have it and people who don't have it. And I'm telling you, the number one thing is their sense of urgency. We have to start taking a look at our own lives like I did. I had to. It don't matter that I have 9 hustles. It ain't working. And I wasn't offended by it. I'm always okay with the absolute truth. And a lot of times we're in a position where we may not have people around us that's going to tell us that, but you can tell yourself that. Look in the mirror, say it out loud. I'm not where I need to be and I need to make a change. Because here's the part most people don't understand. If it takes you 10 years to make a change, by the time you make it, the opportunity is gone. The window is closed. The wave you were supposed to ride on has already broken. Now, if you need to take another 10 years to figure out your next move, I'm not sure how many 10-year spans you have to figure it out. I'm wishing you the best of luck. I'm even praying for you. But the math don't add up. That 20 years, one decision could have changed your entire life if you just had that sense of urgency. I call a sense of urgency tax. And most people pay it their entire lives without knowing they're paying it. The fastest way to build wealth is to compress your decision-making timeline. Decide fast, move fast, adjust fast. Even after I got licensed, I still wasn't devoted to insurance alone. I was still spread out, still hustling everything. Then I met 4 people who completely changed how I operate, 3 men and 1 woman. What they brought into my life was different from what I previously had. Support, love, and no judgment. I started getting around people who were doing better than me, people who believed in me. When you spend almost your entire life being the smartest or the most driven or the most ambitious person in the room starts to shrink. You stop growing. You start performing. But when you get around people who are already where you want to be, your entire nervous system changes. And the toughest pill I had to swallow came from one of them. My accountant, my brother, a multimillionaire, he looked me dead in my eyes and said, "You will never have true success on the path that you're on." As you can imagine, I was flabbergasted. I was thinking, what do you mean? I'm that dude. I'm doing everything. I'm working hard. He said, "You're spread out. What are you getting? Nothing. What are you elite at? Nothing." Your words, not mine. Ouch. And that's that. Jim Rohn said and lived it. If somebody's wealthy and happy, you gotta listen. He's happy and he's wealthy, so I'm listening. I am forever grateful for that mentorship. For all 4 of them, they saved me decades. So I made a decision. I'm going to devote everything to one entity, insurance. I'm going to give it 10 years. And for the first time in my life, money wasn't at the forefront of it. I said, as long as I can pay my bills, I'm fine. Let me just give it my all. That's the shift. That's the moment a hustler became a builder. A hustler is always chasing the next dollar. A builder is constructing something the next dollar comes to. Hustlers wake up tired because they're running. Builders wake up clear because they have a plan. Hustlers have a million ideas. Builders have one mission. Hustlers ask, how can I make money this week? Builders ask, how can I make this thing last for the next 10 years? That was 2024. It's now 2026. The Legacy Link has over 350 agents. We have people who made the transition from their 9-to-5 to work in this business full time. Our minimum month is $100,000 a month. Let me say that again. The minimum. I remember when I couldn't pay my phone bill. I was looking up medical career ads. Happy to make $30 an hour. Now I make 6 figures a month, working nowhere near the amount of time I would have been working as a medical carrier. If I could do it, you could do it. Individual results vary. Income not guaranteed, but the blueprint is real. So here's what this podcast is going to be about. Step by step, week by week, I'm going to give you what I've learned the hard way. How to find the right mentor. The 4 traits that separate a real mentor from somebody just selling you a dream. How to build a foundation before you chase money, because the money without a foundation will always leave. How to recognize an opportunity when it's standing right in front of you, because life will put it there and most people walk right by it. How to run a real discovery call. How to think about the next 10 years. How to build a team that runs without you. I'm going to bring on people who shape me, the mentors, the top producers, the agents who walked away from their 9-to-5. This show is not entertainment. This show is education with a story attached. I want to be your link. I want to be your bridge. Next Tuesday at 6 a.m. Central, episode 2, we're breaking down the difference between hustling and building and why one keeps you broke. If you're licensed and tired of plateauing, go to thelegacylink.com. If you're not licensed yet and you're ready, start there too. We'll guide you through the process. If you don't know me yet, this is the start of the link. Subscribe, turn on your notification, send this episode to one person who needs to hear it. One person you know has been hustling without a foundation. One person who's been telling themselves, next year I'll figure it out. Tell them, listen to this, then call me. That's how movement starts. Every legacy needs a link. I'm Kamora Link. Thank you for being here. And in God's will, see you next Tuesday.
We don't take the wheel,